Hello everybody, this is Simon. Today we're going to finish out the Smouldering Lake, if everything works out for once. Yeah, last time was pretty good. And in order to do this, first of all, I got the attention of this guy. But after that, one thing I did wonder about last time, and which I actually found the explanation for now. We'll show that off. And to make things a little bit easier on myself, I got back to the club. Oh, that's nice. Maybe I will upgrade the shield some more, I don't know. It's fun to look at. It's rather heavy though. Anyway, I was wondering about this passage here. And while I was invading some people just for fun, I forgot that there is an ember here. And if you do get the ember, then this guy aggroes. Because I was so confused on what the point was of him, this is the point. This is why he's here. He will aggro you and his buddy will too, if you get the ember, and only then. However, there is one more thing, and that is... we can see it. There is a hole in the ceiling somewhere here. There it is. And you can fall down there, and then you just might fall into the hands of these guys. Basically, you should fall just in front of the caster, and then both of them harass you at the same time, and that is basically why this exists. So, let's get to it. Right, so right here. Okay, frostbite after the second hit, that is fine. Have to get used to the hammer again, and I'm not used to using it one-handed. Maybe I should block then, but you know. It's really slow, however, using it one-handed. Still don't know when the shield's attack actually has block frames, but it doesn't matter too much, I don't think. One more? Yes. Alright, that combos rather nicely. I think the hole might actually be after the Estus Flask shard. You know, the one where I said you can use the illusory wall or jump. Yeah, maybe should have shown that off. Doesn't matter. We're going here, which I have ignored so far, just fucking around with the enemies. I don't quite know why this one red is here, except to show you that there are going to be more reds in the future. What I do know, however, is that you do not want to be running full tilt to kill this red, because there is certain death underneath. So let's go the other way instead. It is reminiscent a lot of the depths in Dark Souls 1, because they also had a similar setup where reds were running away from you in narrow corridors and you were like, I'm gonna chase that red, and then you would fall into a hole and die. This is where you can see more rats happening, but I think this is the one from the corridor circling around basically. And we have some more here. Wonderful. This makes the controller vibrate a lot when I use it. It's a little uncomfortable because I always think I'm getting hit. Anyway, this sign is correct. We could see that there has to be something here just from the spatial relationship of things, because I said already, when we come from the big room with all the assholes, then you can see this hole here. You can't jump over it, but you know that there has to be something there. Now I aggroed him, that's annoying. Let's just ignore him for now. Probably won't die. Probably won't die. And let's get this off a spider lady's dead body. And check out this quickly. I forgot one thing which I wanted to prepare, but whatever, doesn't matter too much. You can get these items here if you have high fire resistance, so I wanted to equip Flesh Sweat, doesn't matter. Just one quick test. Yeah, it deals too much damage. But apparently, and I never noticed, I've never known this before, I just stacked as much fire resistance as I could and it worked out, but it was always a suicide run, so we're gonna do it later. Is that you can actually block the fire damage for whatever arcane reason. Just the way it's programmed, I guess. But oh, here's this red. Okay. Which makes no fucking sense whatsoever, but it's just the way it is, I guess. Maybe you can shortcut a tiny bit of running if you fall down here, but I wouldn't do it if I were you. There is one more of these pits later on. Does actually have a somewhat substantial reward, but we'll get to that when we get to that. For now, let's take out this fat rat. You can easily jump attack that, drop attack that if you fall down from up there, of course. And but you have to deal with his posse. Whatever. Let's just use a bit more of this good stuff. Out of stamina. And hyper armor. This is how you do it. If you think that this corridor is pointless except for a handy dandy shortcut if you don't want to deal with all the rats up there, you'd be wrong. But I'm going to show again how the game signposts a little secret it's involved in here. We won't need a shield for this. Wow, they actually survived that. Crazy. It's a lot of health. Because here is a den of these guys, and when I was invading, just for fun, got 1 or 2 shackles, maybe 3. Here I had at least 2 people just run in here and then get obliterated by the curse. I didn't even see them. I just saw that suddenly people died, losing all the health bar at once, and this is what happens. It can be tricky, as you can see it stacks up rather quickly and you have a lot of them at the same time. Sometimes coming from angles which you don't expect, because the room is definitely meant for them to be able to sneak up on you far more than it's possible in the swamp at the very least, and there are just more of them in general. But if you keep your cool and don't aggro too many of them at once, then it should not be a big problem. And they don't have that diverse of a moveset, I don't think that you should be really running into too many issues. By the way, one thing, invading here is actually kind of a pain in the ass, because the route down here is rather linear, and if you invade someone, if you spawn up there and they're actually all the way back there, then it's just a lot of running around with a lot of downtime. Anyway, you can see an item up there, and the way to get to there is again through an illusory wall. And similar to other setups where you can see that there has to be some way to get to that item, but geometrically it doesn't make sense unless there is an illusory wall, and there is one here, or next one maybe. I think that is actually pretty good and well made by the, of course it's here because it's more flat, where it's just doesn't depend on you more or less lucking out or hitting every wall just like that. And this is how you get 3 large Titanite shards, which is very good for upgrading, of course. And this is how you get to the item you saw before. It should not be that big of a surprise that there are 2 here. This is definitely not like the Great Hollow's hiding place in Dark Souls 1, just because you know that there is an item here. We are getting some very good rewards here. One more and I can upgrade wards again, but let's see how I will instead use maybe another weapon, which we will get shortly, because this is probably the treasure which is referring to and the enemy is referring to. Now, we have met this guy before. It is Zorik, our dear friend, and who invaded us before. Him being here does not depend on his invasion at all. The invasion is, as far as I know, completely optional. It is possible to summon him as an NPC phantom for the old Demon King fight, and or to get through this area, depending on what you want to do with him. I don't know if you have to kill him for that, or if you are not allowed to kill him for that. But that is just the way it is. I think this also unlocks his armor for buying, so I will have something to spend my souls on. But what is more important is that this gives us access to the no fugs given sword, as I call it. Wow, this is heavy. Holy shit, I didn't even know that. I should have looked up more of its attributes. I do know that I can use it. Two-handed, of course, but I think I will have to invest a little bit more into my fashion stat. Maybe get up to the strength required though. Yeah, I need a little bit more strength for that. I thought it was 4 key. Maybe it is in Dark Souls too. Anyway, this beauty here, he was using it against us rather effectively if I didn't have a gigantic fuck off super club. And What is most interesting about it is its weapon art. This one here, the stomp, because it gets block frames. While you're holding it out, then it acts as a shield, and not a terribly bad one at that. And we're going to abuse this hopefully. And it also has a very interesting, this was charged by the way, this is non-charged, so there is barely difference, R2 attack. So we're going to play around with that. It also upgrades, as far as I know, I hope at least, with Twinkling Titanite. So we have got something to spend this resource on. But for now, I will just need that one more level. Oh yeah, and while invading, I also lost 14k souls at some point, which doesn't really matter too much because I got a lot of them stored up. And this is just basically because I invaded someone here, back here, and didn't win. So my souls were all the way down here, and I really, really didn't care for just running past everything here to get the souls. I also discovered something which I didn't know before, and that is that the Black Knight is always going to be aggroed. It's always going to be an enemy, even if you are an invader. Which I thought the people were just using Seeds of a Tree of Giant liberally, but no, he's just always going to hate you. Very surprising. I also never encountered that, even though I do invade here somewhat often, because if you do find the enemies, then it can be rather easy to lure them into traps because there's a bunch of them. You can throw them off here, you can drop attack from these ladders which we're going to encounter soon. But overall it's a little 50-50 on if you're actually going to find them before they maybe suicide, or maybe they will just start the boss fight which is at the start of the area, you know? And sometimes you just run past them because the area is so winding, but I think I covered most of the paths for now, and everything past here is completely linear. I also never really know which is the quickest path to take, but details. Not here? No, not here. One more. Another item which I didn't find without using a guide. I just didn't pan the camera over there. It's rather obvious that there is something here, but only if you look at it, only if you look at it. And I mean, can't blame me for not just zoning out while I'm climbing this ladder, because man, these are some long ladders. The Dragon Rider bow is probably good. It was in Dark Souls 2 at the very least, one of the best bows you could just use for some damage to kill enemies in a ranged fashion. For now though, we will have to deal with this guy here, who is getting a beat on us again. Giant ballista, but if we duck in here, this is not a problem, so I kind of don't know why they make such a big deal of it also being able to hit you up here, because that is all it's ever going to do to us. These ones terrified me when I saw them the first time, but by now we know that they're actually not hard at all. I really should two-hand this again. I'm not using the shield anyway. I've gone so much past the need or the desire to use a shield that I don't even know what to do with one anymore. We are going to take out the last one to avoid any surprises. And there we go. As you can see, I moderately know what I'm doing, but still, especially against the Black Knight, I usually lose a lot of Estus, so I'm somewhat down on it by now. And this always happens when I go here, so I gotta hand it to Dark Souls 3, which is usually not perfect in that regard. But this area always makes me tense up a little, because you're very deep in. It's been, don't know, 5 to 10 minutes by now. And then you have the bone wheels, and this is why you think, oh my god, I have to deal with that now, crazy. And then you have these guys here, and you know that these guys are trouble because they are quick and they have a lot of hard-hitting attacks, and can be quite the hassle to deal with them. But let's see if the shield is actually helping us out here. Not much, not much. You know why? Because they're using shotels. But fortunately, what is helping us out always is, you know, a hammer. Alright, one more and then we're in the clear. Maybe we can get the strike on him. That would be funny. Well, that worked out perfectly actually. Goodbye. Can't tell you how much I love the hammer. I mean, maybe you've noticed it by now. I sincerely hope that the Fuchs is also going to be great for us. And now we can finally do something important. and that is turned off this annoying ass machine forever. Never have to come back up here again, and there are two things which it can break down there for us, and I made it break those, and that's it then. Yeah, terrible, isn't it? Don't know why the giants are here, but maybe they built this, I don't know. This always looked very suspicious to me when I came here the first time. But there is nothing hidden here, but there will be, if I remember correctly, on New Game Plus. So you have an actual reason to explore down here if you want all the rings, which is, you know, annoying. This is also something which annoys me. See, I was preparing for equipping some spells, but I forgot. If you don't have the cat ring, and it's very likely that you don't on your first playthrough, then you will get some damage here, especially it's like the area where you get Lucatiel set and the Chloranthy ring after in the Undead Settlement after Sequat's secret area. And that means that if you are out of Estus because it's a tough fight up there, then you really don't want to drop here. And have this tough decision: will I survive this with the amount of health I have left? Ugh. And spoilers, there is nothing here. There is absolutely no point to dropping down here unless you now want to take a time and explore, but you can just go back to the beginning of the area bonfire and scour the swamp at your leisure. It doesn't matter. I don't know why they wouldn't put an item there. It makes no sense to me. It should be a good reward for going all the way up there, which is a pain in the fucking ass. I never have fun doing that. By now I know what to do, of course, otherwise I would have died on the way, but it's just not terribly interesting. And then you get nothing except for a little bit of peace and quiet in form of a ballista that is not shooting you. So I don't know what to think about that, to be quite honest. So let's get some more perseverance juice up. There is a crystal lizard here, right? Yes. They are getting more resilient. Another twinkling for our next friend to use. This one I think has a chaos gem. Let's see. He's starting his run earlier. I think he's designed to lure you into a trap, whereas the other one is of course not just a jungle chest. It's not bad, because if you follow him too much, then of course you encounter this happy little fellow here, and this might be a big surprise for you when he then gets the drop on you. And of course it is Horus. Horus who has turned hollow, and we have to tell or not tell. Oh my god, that was a lot of damage. Have to tell Unri now that we did find him. Nah, we don't, of course we don't. Because that ends her quest early, if I remember correctly. So, his quest in my case, which is, yeah, amazing. This, I think, also unlocks his armor, unless we already had that. No, that's the Axel armor, which I'm thinking of. And we got a lot of goodies here, so it's always worthwhile to come here and kill him. And there is nothing you can do otherwise. Yeah, okay, I know, stop it. Come on. What the fuck? Finally. It's not even good. One thing I always found neat, or at least as soon as I found out I found it neat, is that this is actually below the area leading up to Volnir. So you can see from Anri's vantage point up there, you can actually see Horus more or less if you want to. You can see the items down there at the very least, which are glowing. And so he or she was really close to finding Horus, basically looking at the right spot, but of course they can't fly, so never a chance of them rescuing Horus, and possibly he would have turned hollow anyway. But who knows? Who knows? I'm usually not a big lore guy, but these mini stories, if they're executed well, I do think they're neat. I don't mind them, let's say, and sometimes they can be quite fun. Wonder if I have enough Estus to deal with the crabs actually. If I don't, well then I will just restart and get the souls. It should be easy enough. Let's see here. I know that the hammer is really good at dealing with them, so man, 6 of them. This is going to suck. Hello. I think you don't even get anything for killing them. You just get this item here. Oh, finally one aggroed. Whoops. Yeah, you know what? Whatever. I am going to get the souls and maybe suicide run, not suicide run. Try to get the item in the corner. This is definitely Chaos Gem, which I don't need. So, should I bother? There are some large shards on the way. At the very least, I will get those. Shortcut here because you can't go back up the hole, which would be neat, but as I've discussed before, maybe it's supposed to drop you there, and then you're like, how do I get out of this pickle? Oh, there's a bonfire, I can warp. Um, yeah, not the most well thought out area, but it's basically over now, so that's nice. Oh yeah, outside, outside. Oh, I do have the silver cat ring, so I can shortcut a little bit here. Oh yeah, and one thing I completely forgot, there is actually something very, very useful here, which I'm not going to use, but where is it? Here is it, then, maybe? Yes, the Shield of Wand. The Shield of Wand is pretty good for your first time run because it's got 100% block, so that's nice, and you get extra souls if you have it equipped. Can't parry, obviously, it's got weapon skill, but this can also be an advantage. And with a medium shield, which you want to use for blocking, you don't want to parry anyway, because bucklers and target shield are just better at this. So, large shards galore, and there are my souls then. Anything else? No, this is where Horus was, so the souls are to the left, probably, maybe. I think we're gonna leave it at that, unless I decide to go for the Chaos Gem. Do I go for the Chaos Gem? I go for the Chaos Gem. Can't leave an item behind, right? Right? Do we get aggro? Doesn't matter. One of them will hate us at some point. If not, then we will just bone out. At least I'm relatively sure that they don't give anything, but I'm not about to find out. I don't care. Got the Chaos Gem. No aggro. Wonderful. Let's leave this miserable place and never return. I will get the strength needed for two-handing the thugs. And then let's see. I obviously have to get rid of the shield, but I don't care much for it anyway. Not like terribly much. I like how it looks, but it's not useful. It's fun, but it's not useful. Sums up quite a lot of the weapons in Dark Souls 3, I'm afraid. Wrong way. This is the exit to the bonfire. One more asshole to deal with. This is still not frostbitten. Nope. Oh my god, he's still alive. Guess that's the swan song of the shield then. Let's see, I will maybe pull it out again later on. But it is really heavy and it doesn't gel too well with the heavy weapons in general. I personally, I don't quite know what to do with a great shield. I've used bigger shields in Dark Souls 1, my very first time around, but never the great shields, and it's always like, okay, but then you should pair it with a light weapon, probably, but then you're not using all that strength which it gives you, which is why I upgraded the Butcher's Cleaver, but it's not perfectly fun to use, if I'm really honest. So, I'm always a bit at a loss. Maybe some strength scaling spear or something like that. I need 15, 16 plus one more, right? Yes, one more. Should be easy enough. I have billions of these. Oh yeah, that should definitely be enough, and then I only have to upgrade it, but that is possible too with the excess I have now. And the next levels are definitely going to go into fashion.
Farewell, Ashen One.
There we have it. It's usable now. Let's get rid of the wheel.
Just wasn't.
And upgrading time. Hopefully it takes twinkling. Yes, it does. I already have 9. Wow. let's keep it at that. If I find out that it's not really fun, then I haven't lost too much. The jump to 4 is always a little tough to do, in my opinion. And that's it for here. Why does it keep unequipping the... Yeah, because it's technically a new weapon, but tends to fuck me up at some point. So, what did we unlock? This is Executioner stuff, exactly. It's the stuff that Horus wore, and this is Black Iron Tarkus' set, which is what Thoric was wearing. Okay. Nothing much to do with 600 souls. I can equip something else now. How about we try going for the items in the lava, because I don't have an ember and I don't have a lot of souls. Let's see about that fire resistance, shall we? 5 is the highest I've seen so far. Oh yeah, okay, the exile mask. Minus 30. Oh, magic, of course, yeah. Never noticed that it actually says minus 30 there. Oh yeah, that's plenty. This should already be quite good, I think. Oh, really? Okay. Exile armor, yeah, we don't want to do that. Maybe the Black Knight? You always have to kind of realize that you're running less quickly, I think, if their armor is heavy, but we can afford one heavy part. We're not going to use the Fuchs anyway for just running. Antiquated set has really high fire resistance, okay. Didn't know that. What is this? I mean, by this point it's just like almost no increase, but... Oh my god, I put on the poopy pants, I can't believe it. Exile? Nope. Not... Definitely don't want that. It is something like 8. Evangelist trousers, okay. 8.1 and Contractor's boots, perfect. Okay, and we're at 69 actually. Interesting. So, one more thing here. Don't need that for what I have in mind. Flame Stoneplate ring is fine. And then I should not forget to actually attune what I need. Which is Flesh Sweat. Oh, does maybe this is the Saint ring I'm using. Does the Deep ring actually increase slots to 2? No, it also increases by 1. Okay, so then again, as I said when I found it, there is no real reason for it to exist. Oh well. Good. Ah yeah, I should obviously equip a shield for blocking, because I just told you people that it has a high... Oh, this actually might be... Wow, okay, Dragon Crest is obviously better because Dragon... And just to defend ourselves, we have this. And now we can run as much as we want to. Wonderful. I think that's the best we can do. Might be wrong because I tend to, but whatever. Where do we go from here to shortcut there? Yeah, I think this is best. You see, navigation in this part is terrible. Terrible, really. That just have to mentally map out the route I'm going to take, which is through this illusory wall, and then down and to the right, which should be able to have everything without any enemies on the way. But he says falling onto a fireball. No. Oh fuck. Wrong side of the room. See, it's very easy to get turned around. Whoops. Now let's use our good patented roll spam tactic. Perfect execution. Alright, kill the rat because otherwise it will annoy us. Oh, the butcher's knife is perfect for that, damage-wise, that is good. More rats. Fuck off. That was not actually one I was aiming for, but it will suffice. Don't aggro the asshole to the right, if we can avoid it. There we are. Of course I will need the Pyromancer Flame. We We will have to Estus a lot. Hold up the shield and hope for the best, Geronimo. Shield is doing jack shit, I think. So that's nice. I think it's something about the... Ah, for fuck's sake. Did you really have to? Okay, let's do it again. Yeah, maybe on the way back it's something about the direction which you're running in. I don't know, but I'm not gonna switch out the shield just for that. It really doesn't matter too much. So, other way. Other way. Is this a shortcut actually? No, I don't think you can get out on that side. Hi. Hi. Bye. Bobbin and weaving. Bobbin and... Fucking aimbotters. Alright. This time I'll take the hole. Just to see if it's better. I mean, this is supposed to be educational, isn't it? Which way do I go? This way. There's one. Close. Okay, wonderful. Good, we have everything here. The white-hair talisman is pretty much worthless as far as I know. Except if you're using a glitch, which I think got patched out. Because it casts miracles and pyromancies, but it does both worse than either any chime in the game probably, and actual pyromancies. So the point of it is basically not existing. I don't know. I just wanted to get away from that fucker, and we're just going to run through here. Ugh, great. Probably not a good idea. I think the other route might be a little safer to run through because of all the dogs, but we will see. We will see. To the right? Yes. And here we are. Yeah, I think the other one is shorter, even though you get pelted with fireballs. Because we have to go down all the way. Oh yeah, I could have taken the shortcut landing on the rat. Ah, hindsight is 2020. Speaking of rats. Running through things is of course a tried and true tactic of a lot of Dark Souls games, and this one is no exception. And sometimes it's a little annoying, especially when you get followed by dogs, but as you can see, the other enemies have already leashed, so there is not going to be an issue with those. I think the Basilisk can follow you down there if you're unlucky, but not all the way down, I don't think, and even so, it doesn't really matter now, does it? They will kill themselves in the lava. You can get Zorik to walk into the lava too. He will probably not die from it anytime. There you have the block! Wow! But only from one side. Okay, this is insanely stupid. How did they program this? What the fuck? There you have the other part of the glitch combo. Almost did it. Would have killed myself anyway because no reason not to. I just want to get back to the bonfire. And these are all the items in there. Wonderful. Let's just take a quick look at the talisman. Now that we do have it. So it's, yeah, there we have it. 1620. This is not even a little bit. You need a lot of. The skill is not unique. It's just able to cast miracles and pyromancy, and both verse, as you can see, scaling with V. Then the pyromancy flame. There is nothing really redeeming about it. A spell buff of 20? Like, what the fuck is this supposed to do for you? I don't get it. Anyway, it's time to move on, I think. It's time to take our new weapon for a little bit of a spin. This is basically one big cleanup round, but I do think I want to play a little bit in Irithyll before we call it a day. Because it's still fun. And I mean, all of this work and no payoff. I promised you a new weapon. We have a new weapon. Let's see how it treats us, shall we? First though, a little bit of fashion. What do we put in the offhand? This might be a good idea. Just let's play around with it a little bit, I guess. We don't need this, but we do want... Do we want it? Maybe, but we do need the milk ring in order to use our offhand. And what do we want? Otherwise, usually the Estus ring is just fine. Yes, fuck it. Don't need any of this. Yeah, can't be arsed. Oh yeah, completely forgot. Off screen I talked to Hawkwood and got this, which is nice, I guess. Good, fashion time. So far we have a lot of space to fill it out with. How does this look? With the Black Knight armor, pretty good indeed, but we can't really afford it, can we? Maybe? With anything that is fitting, and maybe this time we can use the Undead Legion armor. It's a little ragged. Yeah, why not? I mean, I bought it after all. Does it fit with the hat? Not really, the collar is too high. I've never liked the helmet. A friend of mine swears by it. I think it looks absolutely stupid. So we're going to use something else, maybe? That's not bad. Surprised that I can't just wear it. More or less just like that. Now we have to be a little more careful. We don't have sleeves anyway, so that is fine. And was it the cleric trousers that weigh basically nothing? Yeah, I think we have to change something regardless. Yeah, so no exile mask for us. It's too bad. Nah. Maybe? Possibly? Never wear the dark mask, it looks super stupid. Ah, too shiny, far too shiny. Okay, but go back to this, it's cold here. Alright. Never used Rime Blue Moss Clumps. They get rid of Frostbite. Maybe in the DLC, but even there I didn't use it at all. So, Irithyll. Irithyll is definitely a jump up in difficulty in many aspects. Mostly starting from the start already with the dog, but the regular enemies here are absolutely nothing to joke about. Something I never realized, I thought these were Ruin Sentinels, but looking closer they actually have outright Knight armor, so this is supposed to be Vort and friends. Ah, it's not this guy, it's of course in store here. We'll get back to this later. This is not actually a shortcut which you ever should use. Don't know really why it exists, but I think it is just there to show you that there is something here which you can check out later on if you want to. Oh, wow! Didn't think I would survive that. I didn't survive this. Holy shit. So yeah, almost a 2-hit, but not quite. I apologize, I have to get used to the sword. The R1 is not the greatest. But let's see how the weapon art treats us. Maybe this will work better. Usually I don't take a look at the door here, that screaming lady down there, so I aggro them in a different way. This guy here should be focused on melee, I think. Oh, well, great, now I have all 3 of them on me. A little sad that I didn't get the other one, but yeah, you can see that these guys here are nasty. Stomp. Almost kill them. Okay, wonderful. I think the stomp did wonders there, but I have to experiment with it a little more. Now let's see if we can get him to do a ranged attack. He does. That's good. That's very good. And... oh, shield. Stomp. Fuck off. Jesus Christ. Pontiff Knights are assholes. Amply demonstrated. His boots look a little weird. I can afford something else here. Northern, maybe? Nope. Let's use these. These are always fine default. Look like actual boots, you know. When I first came here, I was a little bit terrified of these statues because they look like enemies, but they're not. However, these are the actual enemies here. So you can also see HP totals are definitely going up. If you don't have a +6 weapon yet, you really should consider investing in one. Weren't there invisible enemies here? Don't remember, doesn't matter. This one is also a really hard encounter because you get a completely new enemy leading ones which you have just met around. And, well, he's an asshole. She, I think. It's a witch's set. Doesn't even let you get close. And then you have the melee guys to deal with. The range is amazing, and she can hit you round corners. Make fire underneath you happen, as we just saw. I'm pretty sad that the follow-up does not deal more damage. Also, I really miss my swing. How about the jump attack? Ah, still not too much. Deals the same as a normal R2? That's weird. Why would it? Almost. And there we go. If they get locked into their fire explodes from underneath your attack, then you should be in the clear. Otherwise, it can be kind of a pain, but once you do close the distance, then it's not a big deal at all. Sadness. Now maybe? Both of them, please? No! It's quite narrow. Okie dokie. Does Stomp R2 do anything different, actually? Block, yes. Ah, wonderful! Now that's the damage I'm looking for. Okay. Good thing I equipped the Ashen Flask. This is also rather nasty. If you try to run through with the other guys annoying you from behind, this guy from the front, not too much fun. Stomp. R2? No? Didn't work out? Doesn't matter. Worked out anyway. Everything is dandelions. Good. I appreciate this setup. It leads you up here. You really want to deal with the guy on the balcony. And you will probably see these guys come around there. And the smart thing to do, and I do like it when Dark Souls encourages you to do smart things and also rewards that by having you not die, is just to stand up here and let them pass. Because why would you fight two of them at the same time? Are you suicidal? Sneaky, sneaky. Alright. And that's it. Situation successfully diffused. Good. We're gonna come back to this later, but I will kill the crystal lizard first because it's there. Boom, baby. The footsteps are quite unnerving, I think. Could hear door hiss again. Nothing in this corner. There's one corner which I always forget to check. This, the dancer and ward. Someone pointed that out. I never realized that. Thank you, prepare to die. This is the plaza which you never want to go into. When I had my invasion assistance last time, I screamed basically at the guy to not go into the plaza. Ah, this is the one I always forget. Did it anyway. Fortunately it worked out, but it wasn't fun. By the way, invasion assistance, I should put on Way of the Blue again to maybe get a summon, I don't know. Anyway, you really want to beeline your way up here if you do Irithyll for the first time, because this is where the bonfire is. Yay! Wonderful. This is probably the hardest part of the area done, unless you want to explore the plaza, which we're going to do later. And this is my go-to tactic for it. You aggro the 3 melee dudes, run away far to get the Fire Witch killed alone, and then here you kill the one Fire Witch on the balcony and let the other 2 people pass, because they're not bothering you. Also, hello.
Oh, I thought it might be you. Good to see you.
Forgot to talk to you again in the
I never
catacombs, but
managed
it
to
doesn't
find
matter, I
Honest.
think.
But my duty must be done, even alone, as an unkindled Lord Seeker. For the children I knew, bless their souls.
Bless
We
him.
all have our reasons, don't we?
Yeah, mine is to test out big heavy
Please,
weapons.
take this. Recompense for my foolish request.
It wasn't too foolish. I mean, I did find
And
Horus
also
after
a
all,
token
but
of protection. May the flames guide your way.
thank you. Where did you get this? It's weird.
Ah, you are brave indeed. I would do well to... May the flame...
Don't forget this.
I would... May the...
Alrighty, tighty. Now, something I did actually find on my first playthrough, because I was checking every corner, as you do for items and stuff, and someone had left a helpful message here. Oh, by the way, I want to see what the one-handed moveset is like. Hello. Yeah, this is the sweep I'm looking for. What's the R2 like? So, why would you hide out here?
Oh, my. I see you're unkindled. For a pilgrim such as I, all tucked in and awaiting death, to have this honor, this presages a most glorious death indeed.
Oh, you think so?
Praise thee.
Know what I did to your friend?
Praise thee.
This.
Why,
Because you would have killed Anri, you fucker.
Uria.
You're not gonna see Uria anytime soon. I'm super sad to say. Anyway, it was quite fun to find this out on my own. The ramifications of her being here, something different to consider. Not super fond of that quest either, because I mean, it's hard to find these. It's hard to find her on your own. It's really not something you would realize at first. But at least for me it worked out, but generally don't condone it. So let's see if we can get summoned. Just a quick check. If people are currently invading. Oh yeah, something I read like today, that apparently somebody data mined the game and found out that if you have been invaded, you cannot be invaded anymore at all the entire rest of the game unless you yourself invade. This is crazy. Why would they do this? Is this an oversight, or I don't know. I don't know if it's true. I just read it somewhere, but if it is, it's completely absurd. Oh yeah, this is a no fun allowed area. You see the icon go out. When I was first here, I was like, oh my god, am I getting invaded? No, it's actually just a no multiplayer zone. Oh yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to invade real quick myself. See if I can get one kill real quick. If not, then I will leave it for now. But just to get embered up, because I want to get invaded myself. Before I forget this, basically. I think this doesn't take. That's gonna be a connection lost. Meanwhile, things around the corner. Completely forgot that this item exists. Why would you look at this? Sound effects. This is a very nice view, which is sadly going to be interrupted by some very inconsiderate assholes. See? Failed transaction. The jump attack deals less damage. Really? Really? Okay. Where the fuck? Ah, here. Okay. Yep, 10 less. That makes no sense. Why would jump attack deal? What the fuck? Just because it's thrust? Okay. Great. Another thing learned. Guess I won't use the jump attack then. This guy either. He's red eyes. It means he's dangerous. Oh no, please don't. Fuck this. Don't miss this. Very important, of course. So this is the intended progression path for the area. A bit weird because you would think that it goes up to the plaza, but it's going to be a dead end soon. I don't want to progress further. That is something for next time. For now, I just want to find a world to invade. I'm not super sure about my level in relation to other players because I did spend that one chunk of souls after farming for my wolf stuff. Maybe putting me a bit above. Oh yeah, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. Okay, then let's just. Oh, no, it works. Okay. Otherwise, I could invade the Smouldering Ruins, I guess. But yeah, I don't know if I'm over leveled or under leveled for this area. Because of the way the Smouldering Lake fits into the progression, which is not at all. It's super optional. It's always kind of hard to know which level people are going to have going through Irithyll the first time, and also because it is such a difficulty spike for many people, they would much rather go to the Smouldering Lake first, maybe over level themselves a bit by, oh great, amazing, by grinding a bit. I never grind, but unless it's for items. For souls, at the very least, I never do because I always think that it will not help much. Like 10 levels, the difference. 10 levels can make a lot of difference. That is true. One more try here. If I don't get it immediately, I will change areas. Okay, let's see. But if you just grind up the next 2 or 3 levels, then I don't know. And the biggest difference is if you give yourself some more vigor to survive something that might have been a one hit before and now it's a two hit, or to survive a combo which otherwise would have killed you from full health. Um, that is probably the biggest thing. Or if you can finally use a weapon, maybe even use it that's a funny name. Maybe use it the first time one-handed. Um, this could be something that is good. But, oh great, door shields. This is not gonna be fun. Oops. Shit! Fuck! Yep, definitely not gonna be fun. I will have to be cheap here. But that's the way it is in Irithyll. Either you're cheap or you die. Oh my god. 1000% gang squad action here. What just hit me? Please do your thing, Firewish. Thank you. That was needed. Sorely needed. This is the one way you can have success against 3 people, at least at my level of skill, which is not high. Even these 3 people have difficulty with the setup here. I don't think I've hit any one of them once. Aha, unlock glitches. Amazing! Oh fuck, I'm already out. I didn't even realize. Yeah, this is not gonna happen. Okay, I said one try, let's just ember up and get the invasion over with before I forget it. Also something which is quite obscure because you're probably not going to arrive at this point embered after the hell that Irithyll is the very first time you go through it. Just the Pontiff Knights themselves will give you a lot of trouble if you encounter them the first time. The setup with 2 to 3 of them at once is brutal. So, yeah, these are bad. Should probably get my souls back now that I think of it. Whatever. So this one here is rather sneaky. No, backstab. There we have it. Oh my god, that sound. So, Kraton again. What the fuck? That was not enough. Wah! Oh my god! First of all, how did I miss him? Second of all, that damage. I really wasn't expecting that. Well, rip my souls, I guess. And let's try it again. I have enough embers. I hope it's fun to see me fail. Welcome to Dark Souls. Right, once more. Still not used to the sword. I mean, I keep overestimating ranges on weapons anyway, but I guess I was hoping that it had some kind of lingering hitbox to it. I mean, I don't feel too bad because as we have established before, Kraton is quite the asshole. There was another one, right? Yeah, there he is. Already, okay. Fuck you, Kraton. Maybe? Wonderful! Okay. That was great. Yeah, it was great. No, you don't. Alright! So, this is the one way you get Kraton's Crescent Axe, and I think this also is the one way which you unlock his armor. Forget where it is, it doesn't really matter. That was a great way to end the episode, I think. Plans worked out perfectly once again. Let's just forget about an embarrassing death before. You two hit me, I two hit you. Fuck you, Kraton. Thank all of you for your attention.